Adventures of Sonic Episode 6, Sonic Breakout. We start out with Tails saying to Sonic that the delivery truck of his favorite comic book is going down the street, and some weird looking people are running after it. It's more relatable to have Sonic be a fan of comic books. Tails insists that he's not worried and screams with horrible acting and then admits it. This kind of thing only works when the word used is scared, not worried. This is a stark contrast from the comic where Robotnik banned all forms of media. There was even a no reading rule. Sonic lampshading that the only problem with the comic is that it doesn't get here fast enough is pretty cathartic. I hate waiting for issues to come out. Scratch and Grounder laugh hysterically at seeing a comic that makes fun of Robotnik as Humpty Dumpty. I admit that is amusing visual humor. But 1, why are robots made by Eggman programmed to laugh at Eggman? And 2, why is Robotnik acting like this mockery is the first time that he's ever been mocked in the media? Am I really expected to believe that? Wouldn't Robotnik make there be no freedom of speech, constant censorship? So why would this Robotnik mockery stuff happen so openly in the media at this point? Then it's reported that someone has kidnapped the printer of the comic. The person on the radio actually responds to Sonic, which is really stupid since he's talking to everyone on the news bulletin. And then he says that Robotnik's revealed a new prison complex by sheer coincidence. We didn't need this extra thing. It would have made sense for Sonic to figure out what happened to the comic writer without that being thrown in. He could have assumed that he was put in prison. Robotnik orders an automatically talking computer to tell him if there's breaches in security. Sonic tells Tails that he'll let Robotnik catch him to get in, but he'll have fun with him first. He somehow runs all over the building without falling off it, creating pink gas, and somehow Robotnik doesn't— oh, it's more that he wasn't looking at him when he was somehow disguised as a window washer. I thought he did look at him. How did he even get those materials? It feels like there's filler here because we could have immediately cut to Sonic's capture, but instead he wastes time talking to Scratch and drops some wood on him. If he wants to let Robotnik catch him, why is he wasting so much time? I mean, Scratch and Grounder and even Robotnik seem like such idiots that would they really be suspicious if they won too easily? Then he and Tails fool Scratch with Surfer Dude disguises out of nowhere, and Sonic talks in an annoying voice and gives Scratch a malfunctioning hang glider he has for no reason. 1 minute Sonic and Tails put an anchor up right, and the next it's a sandcastle. Sonic lies that the sand is so hard for him to run in to get Scratch's attention. Grounder says he'll roll right over Sonic. That's dark. Sonic makes a sand cannon, and it makes no sense that Grounder wasn't fooled by this considering he's fooled by all of Sonic's disguises. But somehow he's smart enough to realize the sand monster isn't real. It was actually clever how the punchline was. Because he got used to running through sand structures, he runs into an anchor that was hidden by a sandcastle. Then Sonic lies that he's exhausted and lets himself get captured. And Tails hopes Sonic knows what he's doing. Yeah, because if logic was prevailing here, Sonic wouldn't make it out of that prison. Oh, actually Sonic wasn't put in a cell right in front of his favorite comic writer. There's a special inescapable cell instead, which makes a lot more sense as a reality ensues moment. I really hate that the comic writer isn't reacting realistically at all to his imprisonment. He really shouldn't be in a good jovial mood at a time like this. Like, what is it with the show at constantly abusing and overusing the Cloud Cuckoo Lander trope? There's only so many wacky characters I can take before I'm already sick of them. Robotnik says that if Sonic does escape his steel cell, he'll get shot by motion detecting ray guns from the ceiling. For some reason he expects that to happen even though he has super speed. Well, he is handcuffed. And there's a spike ball as well. But if he was able to escape his steel cell, I don't think he would still be handcuffed. You know, what plan of Robotnik hasn't fallen apart in logic yet? Robotnik has no reason to not kill Sonic here. Inside him, he would have roboticized him. Surprisingly, to me, he tells the comic writer to draw Robotnik all handsome according to himself instead of keeping him in the cell. He still looks awful, and the writer complains about it. Why does Sonic have a comic book in his cell? Why the hell would Robotnik let him have that? Was that there before? Wouldn't he have ripped it in front of him just to spite him? That's a huge Deus Ex Machina so that Sonic can lie that he had a new issue of a comic and Scratch can steal it from him. I guess it counts as a Chekhov's gun, but that's a Chekhov's gun that should have been destroyed before it was useful. Grounder is smart enough to tell Scratch they can't open up the cell door, but never mind, he somehow doesn't remember why he shouldn't. He actually asks Sonic why he can't open the door. This is so unbelievable. This isn't funny. Sonic tells them that he can't run away because he's in chains and there's lasers all over. Logically, this would keep him from escaping. Seriously, why would Robotnik let him keep that comic? He's not that nice. Explaining that Sonic was a wizard who can zap up any materials he wants would be more satisfying than this, because at least it'd be a canon ability that he has. Sonic tricks Scratch into getting hit by motion-detecting ray guns that really should only be programmed to attack Sonic, since there's other beings than him in that area. Why did Robotnik even feel the need to have Scratch and Grounder guard Sonic anyways? Why not have a giant destructive robot instead if he feels the need to do that? Shouldn't he, if he was in character and was confident in his own inventions? Shouldn't he have trusted in his cell just fine and won? Robotnik is alerted to Sonic's insultingly easy escape. He sees Sonic and Tails dancing and taunting him on camera footage, although it is actually kind of amusing, with Sonic making a bunch of cages fall from the ceiling. The computer who was detecting all of Sonic's intrusion says he gives up, with smoke coming from him, because he's tired of the workload and he wants a vacation. I like that, but why would he be programmed to be able to get exhausted? Sonic pretends he'll let Scratch attack him, and then defeats him so effortlessly that you'd blink and you'd miss it. And then he rescues the comic writer, who's looking forward to making Robotnik look really stupid. But why can't Robotnik just go capture him again? Then Robotnik falls and can't get up, and says that specifically, just like in the comic, in a glaring coincidence. Although there's at least something different about it, because he's not like hatched apart and there aren't people right in front of him laughing at him, and he starts crying. There's actually no Sonic Says obnoxiousness here. It's just Sonic and Tails having downtime where they make paintings. Was there supposed to be a message in that? This was another charming episode, but again, the actual writing falls apart in the sense that Sonic shouldn't have had a comic to trick Scratch into freeing him from a cell. Logically, Robotnik should have just killed him or trusted in the cell without wasting Scratch and Grounder as guards for him. No one should have had the guts to make fun of him in the media in the first place. Plus, now that the comic writer's been freed from prison, why can't Robotnik just arrest him again? He knows where he lives. He knows where he works. Escaped prisoners don't go back to where they last were in life, because that's the first place anyone will look. Well, not smart ones anyway. And anyone intelligent enough to escape a prison probably wouldn't be that stupid. So Sonic's victory logically should have been rendered meaningless since we don't see the writer moving to another town or working on a different similar comic.